Hey guys, it's me Evelyn here on N of VIXX, and today we're going to make this poster you see in front of you. I entitled it Star-Crossed, and it features APINK's Naeun, VIXX's N, and EXO Sehun. So let's go and get started. First of all, I'm just going to delete everything but the text and the models. I will delete Sehun, but I won't delete Naeun and N because they're more complicated to match with everything. So I'm gonna leave the border goes in with the text because that's just the final. I'm gonna turn that off, and this is what I have so far. So I'm just gonna let you guys know what I did for Sehun. I'm not saying, but for N and Naeun. What I did was I cut out her image. She was full like this, and I set her layer to lighten first of all, and just added a layer mask, and I just blurred out her edges to fade into N's background. And with N, he was originally like this with a white background. What I did was I actually lassoed out this side, the right side of him, and then I blended out the left side to match with hers, and I just have a dark gray background. So once I was done with this, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my textures out of my textures. You guys are of course gonna get a photo pack with everything that I use. But I went ahead and dragged in these rose textures here, and I didn't want it to be right there, so we're just gonna go ahead and drag into a new tab, of course. And we're just going to drag it over and place it right around here. I want to say we're going to set this normal to lighten, and we're going to change the opacity to 40%, like so. Next, what I did was I dragged in my across layer here, and we're going to pull it over, and it's going to be right here in the corner. I'm also going to set this to lighten, and then we're going to delete a little bit of the roses that fade behind it, just so that it doesn't give it a little bit of too much of a clash. And this is always going to stay on top, so I'm going to make sure that this stays top, so I'm going to keep name it top. Next, what I did was I grabbed this texture here, which is a curtain texture type of thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull it out. Just drag the layer and drop it on top like so. I'm going to set that to soft light, and we'll move it a little bit over so it kind of hits Naeun's lips and nose a bit, but still give some effect onto N's layer. I'm going to add a layer mask. I'm going to grab my round brush and I'm going to fade out the edges like so. And we're going to set the opacity to about 49%. And we're going to drag this up underneath the roses because the roses are going to be on top like so. Next, I'm going to drag over this next window texture I have here, our stock photo, pull it over onto the document, but you want it to be on top of the other window. And Control A on the keyboard to select all of the canvas. Make sure your Move tool is selected. We're just going to hit the center button and center again, and then deselect. We're going to add a layer mask, and once again we're going to go ahead and just blur out the edges like so, because we don't want it to have harsh lines in our poster like so. I'm going to go to normal and set that to soft light as well, but leave it at 100% opacity because it gives the image more color, as you can see. Next, we're going to grab this breaking glass, shattered glass texture. We're going to pull it over, and we're going to have it set above the flowers texture, and we're going to make sure that I'm going to go ahead and just use a round brush to kind of clean up the edge of the cross texture, just because it's clashing with the breaking glass one. We're going to set that to lighten as well, and you want it to be maybe underneath, or we can always just add a layer mask and delete what's hovering over the crosses like so. And we're going to lower the opacity just a little bit so that it fades in like so. Next, what I'm going to use is our chalice image here. And just drag it onto the document like so. I'm going to stretch it out a little bit, about like that. We're going to have it placed right around here. I'm going to set that to, I believe, lighten as well. Just that it blends in with the skin tones. We're going to layer mask. We're going to use a round brush tool, not so big though, and we're going to fade around the edges of it just so that it blends in with everything else. We're going to drag it underneath the roses but above the window textures, like so, so it blends into the roses. Next, we're going to go ahead and add our cloud distorted texture, and this one I'm going to drag it over and we're going to place right about here, but we're going to drag it only over Naeun and N's image so that everything else is shown. We're going to set this to soft light to give it more of a dark cloudy feel. We're going to add a layer mask and we're just going to clean up what's on their face a little bit if we need to. On Naeun's I'm not really going to do so, and I think on N's I'm just going to leave it like so, just a little dot and bring some back just so that it be just more on his cheek so he gets more light in his face. And we're going to drag the cathedral image over as well. We're going to bring it over, pull it on top of everything but leave it underneath the place it like right around here. We're going to set that to lighten as well. Or did I set soft light? I believe I did set it to lighten. I'm going to just go and lower the opacity like so, pull it up a little bit more right about there. Add a layer mask and we're going to delete what's overlapping, like on top. We're going to fade that side out, so it's going to be black. We're going to fade it out like so, and if there's some on the bottom, we're just going to fade it out like that. We're going to lower our brush and we're just going to clean up what's overspilling on certain parts of the face because we don't want it to look too weird, like so. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add over this black and white texture here. We're going to drag it all the way on top. It's going to be on top of everybody's layer, all the layers. So it's going to be the one on the top of everything, underneath the text document, but on top. And we're going to set it right about here. We're going to set normal to multiply, and we're going to lower the opacity just a smidge to about 58%. Add a layer mask, of course, and we're going to delete what's overlapping that we don't want. So basically what's on our model's faces is what we want to erase mostly, because it can overlap everything else. It gives it more of a grunge build, but on top of them it's a bit too much. Next, we're going to add the frame photo here that we're going to have for Sehun. We're going to drag it all the way on the bottom underneath L's layer, so it looks something like this. We're going to let it spill into the background, but if there is a line, you're going to want to erase that bit more. I'm going to go ahead and just see how he spills into N's lip here. We're going to add a layer mask and we're going to use black, and we're going to just erase from there like so. I'm going to erase a little bit bits that are over into these areas here, and of course if there's a line, we're going to erase from there as well. And there's a line here. I'm trying to find out where it is. Oh, it's in the texture itself? I don't think so. I think it is in this texture itself. Now we're going to go ahead and drag Sehun and we're going to click and drop him into the image. So we're going to have him right around here. We're going to drag him underneath the frame, and we're just going to delete what's overlapping. So all of the bright blue parts of Sehun's image we're going to go ahead and erase, because we don't need all of that there. There is an image that's kind of blocking. I think it's this one. So I'm just going to delete a little bit of the bottom of this one here, because we don't need it to leave lines. Alright, so we'll go back into Sehun and we're going to delete all of his overlapping areas like so. And then we're going to grab our brush tool and kind of just go into the frame texture and delete what's there, and then we're going to flip it over with X to bring in the white, lower our brush size, and then just kind of paint some of the extra background just to kind of give it more dimension, I want to say, or something like that, so that it doesn't look too placement. And then we have something like this. Now it's time to get into coloring, which is very simple. What I did was added a black and white underneath. I think I placed these two underneath the roses, to be completely honest. And I placed a black and white. So we're going to adjustments. We're going to add a black and white filter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this up to make those a little bit brighter. Kind of adjust the coloring to make certain bits colorful. Like so. I'm going to zoom in and see if there's any textures that's overlapping on certain faces that I think will annoy me. So like a texture on Sehun's face. Maybe in this case any textures spill onto Sehun and I don't like it. I'm just going to go ahead and erase little bits of it like so. Then we're going to add one more thing, which is a gradient map. So go ahead and go down adjustments gradient map. And we're going to change our black color to a gray color, which is 161616. And then this one is going to stay at white, and click OK. And then we're going to let our text appear, which should be here. I used a font called Conura Script Demo. I don't remember where I got it from. And I just changed my adjustments. I set the layer to soft light first of all. Then I went and added a stroke at a light gray color, which is A5, A3, A3. And then I set that outside to overlay, the blend mode to overlay. Then I added an inner shadow with the color FC, 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 which is very light white. Light white. It's white, but it has more of a gray tone to it. And set that mode to screen and opacity at 32% and size at 13. Then I added a drop shot, color black at the opacity 35, global light 120, angle 120, global light checked, and then the distance at 7, everything else at 0. And then I just repeated it to the crossed as well. And then I added a border of a solid gray color, the same as the background. Then when we're done, we're just going to go on our keyboard, Shift, Control, Alt, and E to merge layers visible. And we're just going to go to Filter, Sharpen, and Sharpen. And then you're done. I hope you guys like this tutorial. Hope it's very simple to follow. If you need help, you can go ahead and ask. The PSD will always be in the description box below for you guys to download the pack and the PSD to this poster. I hope you guys like this tutorial. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and leave me a request. I have a few written down, which is a horror poster, I have an action poster, a blend poster, as well as a gift poster. So hopefully I can get those recorded someday. Those are coming up soon, hopefully. And once again, hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to have more for you guys soon. Bye, guys.